Good afternoon. I hope you've had a good few days, and I hope you've enjoyed all of the videos that I've put on so far with regard to menopause. So today we are on the last letter, E, for exercise and energy. Now, as we were saying at the beginning of the week, our body changes quite considerably during this phase in our life. So we need to adjust our exercise accordingly. Now, I will say straight away, I am not an expert on exercise either. I know what works for me and I know what's worked for some other people as well. But it is not my area of expertise. I have no qualifications in it whatsoever. But I have done some discussions with some exercise tutors, and earlier on in the week I gave you the link to Kate Wilson's exercise information and examples. Now, Kate is a qualified, very well qualified exercise instructor in various disciplines, and also has been a menopause coach for a good few years. So you've got her link earlier on in our private group. If you're watching this and you're not part of my private group, please contact me and I can either invite you into my private Facebook group, or you can give me your email and I can send you the links via email. Entirely up to you. So I'm actually not going to be focusing too much on exercise today because of that reason. However, I will share with you the exercise regime which I have started to use over the past few years. And again, obviously, a lot of you will know I swim because it's gentle exercise and gentle in so much as it doesn't put too much strain on your body. It depends how quickly you swim and how good your technique is as to how many calories you burn and how much your body benefits from it. So well worth a think about that. Aquarobics also is a great way to go because again, it cushions you. Now, you don't have to be an old person to do these things. There are people benefit right from sort of the age of 40 as our bodies start to age. So a really good form of exercise, and remember, any exercise you do in the water, add at least 5 to 10 pounds onto the weight that you are moving because of that weight of the water. Also, you have that advantage of it being able to, if you can tread water, you can do, that horrible machine in the gym where you do that mountain climbing and stuff. Well, if you do this in the water, it's like doing that without the machine. Not easy, and don't overdo it to start with because you don't necessarily feel it in the water. It's when you get out. So obviously water-based stuff really good, and again good for those symptoms, the cooling symptoms. So great form of exercise. Now the other thing is make sure you start lifting some weights. You need to build up that strength. It's less about aerobic and more about strength as we age. You don't want to lose the capacity of your muscles, the ligaments and the tendons around that need to remain strong. And of course, our collagen is depleting. And I have been taking collagen, a good quality collagen, for a few years now, and it's been really beneficial. And so you do need to be thinking about lifting some weights. It doesn't need to be anything out of the ordinary. I'm sure you all know you can get some baked beans out of the cupboard, or some bottles of water, or you can invest in some weights and some resistance bands and that type of thing. So I do all of those sorts of things. Now, the other thing that I have found particularly good is parasize. Now, this exercise has been developed by a fitness instructor who in a later years, I think she's about 45, 50, something like that. So she's been an exercise instructor all of her working life and very, very fit. And then she was diagnosed with a rare degenerative muscle condition. So she developed this parasize so that it's an aerobic workout, but without putting too much stress on your body. So it looks, you know, you've got your aerobic side of things, but you've also got balance and some strength building exercises in there. So that's quite nice. And if anyone wants to know more about that, please do just ask. I will take a photograph of my DVD cover and put that into the private group so that you've got the details. And I think you can find a snippet, an example online, so that you can see if you might fancy it or not, or you're very welcome to borrow my video. Sorry, DVD. Okay, so in terms of exercise, I think apart from the obvious things of walking and cycling, get outdoors as much as you can to keep that vitamin D in, coming in, because obviously, as I said earlier in these videos, that helps your calcium be absorbed into the body along with the water that carries the oxygen around your body. Really, really important things. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say on exercise for the moment. And the other thing in here is energy. Now, energy and immune system sort of have a bit of a link. You get this sort of slump, you go down, you become susceptible to all sorts of things. Now, I had my nutritional DNA report done. And the one thing that really stood out for me in that was the fact that CoQ10, which helps with the immune system, and it's made in your body, my gene that produces CoQ10 actually doesn't do very much at all. So I needed quadruple the amount of most people. But I have noticed a huge difference in my energy levels, and I've got several ladies that have used it upon my recommendation, younger ladies as well, and some older ladies in fact, and they've all found it really beneficial. So it's worth looking into a bit of CoQ10 to give you that extra bit of energy. And as I said again in the earlier video, you need to have a really good multivit, because it's not there in our food anymore. So if you need any more information on that, please just ask. And this all leads quite nicely into our diet, our food. Everybody is on a diet. It's not necessarily a diet to lose weight or a diet to gain weight. It is a diet of food and fuel that we need to live. So when I say diet, it is all about a balance of nutrition that you need in your body. And obviously that becomes very important at this time of year, especially in this climate, this economic climate, when we're all a little bit worried about how much Christmas is going to cost. So I'm going to do a separate video tomorrow around managing Christmas finances and food from just a general supermarket shop. So I'm not going to touch any more on that at the moment. But what I would like to go through are your nutritional requirements, if you like. Now, it's really important that you manage your ratios of nutrients. So 40% of every meal needs to be protein, and we need this protein even more really as we get older, because it's the protein in our food that helps us with our growth and repair. Now, I know we don't want to grow any taller or wider, I get that, but we do want our muscles, our ligaments, our bones, every aspect of our body, our internal, to continue replenishing cells, to grow and repair. If we feel ill, and as I've just said, your immune system can become more compromised as we age. So if we become ill, we need that little bit of extra reserve, and you get that, the repair of your body is in those proteins. So eggs, meat, fish, chickpeas, that type of thing, tofu, obviously. So you do need that protein. 40% of your meal should be protein on your plate every time. The other thing with protein is it makes you feel full for longer. So if you're having a bit of an issue with your weight at the moment, you want more protein because it makes you feel fuller. And last but not least, with the protein, it has that high thermic effect. So it helps you digest your food properly. Therefore, you are digesting and absorbing the nutrition, the nutrients, the macronutrients, if you like, that are in those foods. So 40%, remember that on your plate, 40%. It's around about 10 to 20 grams of chicken, that type of thing is an average portion. But we'll look at portions probably at another time. So you want 30% of complex carbohydrates. Unfortunately, these aren't necessarily the carbohydrates that you might like, like croissants and sweets and chocolates. Sorry, they're not them. You don't want them on your plate. But 30% complex carbohydrates. And you need this for your energy. You also need the carbohydrates to balance your blood sugars, so you don't get the spikes and the dips. But only 30% you don't need to overload on carbs. So when you've exercised, a lot of people think, oh God, I need a biscuit, an energy bar or something like that. No, you don't. You need some protein to replace what you've used and start repairing what you've used at the same time. Okay? 30% healthy fats. Now, this is where people differ, I'm afraid. A lot of people consider some fats to be healthy, some to be unhealthy. And there's no real clear definition by any one expert, if you like. So I'm taking the line of the NHS because I think here in the UK, that is our best guide to go by, because they've been working with, obviously, qualified nutritionists, doctors of nutrition, and also dietitians. So we're going to go with that. Excuse me. And we need those fats because of our brains and for our hormones. And obviously, as our hormones deplete, then we need those fats to at least keep them as balanced as we possibly can and keep our brains able to act and react in a way that we want to react. Okay, so that's two things. The other thing, of course, that the fats do, it is lubricate our body, our joints and our ligaments, and keep our heart healthy. It needs some fat to keep it healthy. And these good fats, such as avocado, and linseed oil is another good one. So these good fats, they actually assist our body to absorb the nutrients that we consume. Now, I am not suggesting that you all go out and buy omega-3s. It's not necessary. As I said to you at the beginning of these videos, it's really important that everything is in a balance. However, if you feel you need a supplement, it's worth seeing somebody who's qualified to tell you whether you need that supplement. Don't just go out and waste your money on them. If you're told that you might benefit from a supplement, then whoever you've seen, please ask their advice of where to go for that supplement and the best type of supplement that will work for you. Because you need to look at your whole self to find the one that is right for you at this time. And don't just keep taking it. Review it every year, just as you would everything else. Keep an eye on your health. Don't just stick with what you're doing. So I'm going to leave it there for today. And I am going to put a game onto my site, onto my page for you to have a little go at. And I'll be back tomorrow with the answers to that, and also the coping with Christmas. So the symptoms and the food and the shopping that can help you cope with Christmas. I do hope you found it useful today. As always, if you've got any questions at all, please, please, please just get in touch. Enjoy the rest of your day.